Dude, I am over. And one, we're live. Hey, everybody. No. What's up?
What's up?
How's everybody doing? Someone told me today. Oh, there you go. No,
Yes.
that's going to be a sound print for me now.
Yeah.
So I had this guy this morning go, John, you're on a picture of you's on your shirt. And I'm like, no, it's not.
That's
3 words of wisdom. There is no try. There is just do. Dooby 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 doo. Is it me or are the kids today laziest? Oh, freaking hell.
they're lazy.
God have mercy, dude.
Yeah. They just don't want to.
People have just started disappointing me left and right.
Yeah, just
Except for my son. He does not disappoint me.
Oh.
I'm trying to put shows together and people are like, oh, I just can't make it. It's too far of a drive.
It's too far of a
drive. And now we're moving to a place where if you don't drive, you don't get anywhere.
Yeah. Gotta do it.
I'm seriously. I'm like, I was talking to a guy this morning who's got a friend that literally lives in the same town as we do, up there, and he goes, I said, yeah, I want to support my local economy, right? And I always do that. So that's why my studio's in Port Richey instead of Tampa, where I could be probably making a ton more money. And I'm okay with driving over there, right? But over here, man, if you in this area, if you got to drive more than 10 minutes, what a inconvenience it is to you. Even if it doesn't even matter if you're. But here's something funny. But they'll drive 2 hours to go to a stupid outlet mall and pay the exact same amount of money that they would if they went to and ordered online.
Exactly.
Dumb.
Exactly.
Just the mentality. I'm over the mentality. But anyway, so I'm like, am I, up there? But I don't. I'm so used to people going, well, I don't want to drive that far. That's too far to drive for me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, really?
Newport, where?
Right? Anyway, sorry for bitching about crap we shouldn't be bitching about on the show. Man, our first six stories here, it's all iPhone.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of.
It's all. I mean, it's
Well,
like,
it's what today is, right?
it's Monday.
No, it's the 18th.
Yeah.
Today is iOS 17 upgrade day.
Mm.
Today's the
I've already
John's
had it.
already had it, so he don't care. But anyways, for the rest of
And
us,
it has issues. Let me tell you.
for the rest of us who want more issues, we can go ahead and upgrade it.
I think you should. I think I really do. I think you should upgrade to 17. There's a lot of stuff in there that's really, really good. Except if you're the iPhone 12, I don't think you can go to 17 anymore. Right? I think it's 12.
No,
Or is it
it's
11?
I think it's XR and up.
Okay.
XR and up.
Well, upgrade.
Is what they.
You should be up to date anyway.
Right.
I mean, seriously.
And that's a lot of generations of phones that's able to handle the iOS 17.
Yeah.
So all the way from the iPhone XR all the way up to 14 and then 15 on the 22nd. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool upgrade. I read a lot of cool features, so I definitely want to see it.
I am literally only upgrading for the camera. That is it.
What, on a phone?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
So John's upgrading to the iPhone 15. I'm probably going to wait to the next one.
Yep.
I'm still paying on my 14 anyways.
Yeah, I don't.
I think I have another $600 left on. Phones.
So the first story we've got is the first 3 reasons, right?
Right. The three big reasons.
We've talked about USB-C. Okay, it's gonna be all right, right?
It's just a plug. I mean,
Right.
and it is going to give you the ability to use USB 3.0
And they're
on it.
and then the next one is going to they have the dynamic island. You know what that is, right?
Yeah, we've had the dynamic island since
So
iPhone
I
14.
can't believe
So
they put that down.
I don't know why they did that unless
Yeah.
they're waiting for the people that talking about the people that waited for the last generation, skipped it,
Yep.
and are coming on. Because there's a lot of people that just don't do it every year,
Mm.
and then there's a lot of people that usually skip years, and that's
I skipped
yeah.
last. I
I
skipped.
skip. I usually skip years.
I skipped the 14 because there just wasn't enough there.
Yeah.
But my number one reason, which is their number three reason, is it's all about the pictures, all of it,
Yeah, it's always
the
about the
camera.
pictures and the video. I think this year's iPhone 15 on the lineup, it was pretty lackluster. I was not really too impressed with the additional features and stuff of the phone itself to
Right.
warrant spending more money again. I don't think there's a lot of improvements, especially seeing how they're using the same chip uh, from the iPhone 14 Pro with
Mm-hmm.
the iPhone 15, standard lineup. So, at first I thought this was an issue because of, chip supply shortages
Right.
and because of COVID and everything like that. But now to do it again
But Facebook's
using it,
being stupid.
wow, wouldn't
I
wouldn't
know. Go figure that out.
yeah, so it's knowing that, Apple decided that they're going to use in the last year's Pro model chip
Yeah.
in the lower end version of the iPhone 15, kind of like, now they're
Being
leaving
petty.
all, yeah, they're being petty, yes. Used to be that across the lineup it was all the same. Maybe they took and used an overclocked chip for the pros,
Right.
little extra features. But now they are being pretty petty, and they're taking a chip now, and they're spreading it across 2 years
Hmm.
worth of devices, which it's smart, but at the same time, how are you going to get people to upgrade? Most people are not going to buy the standard 15 anymore, because the only way to get the better stuff is to go to the Pro or the Pro Max.
I'm going to Pro Max
Yeah, I got
because I do like the fact that the iPhone 15 Pro's 5G modem reportedly boosts speeds up to 24%. That's not bad.
and nowhere in these three reasons that they give
Yep.
in this particular instance, nothing about the speed of the processor, the GPU, nothing about any of the hardcore. Now, you know, it's it's kind of like, yeah, but I don't know. In our next topic, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yep.
Let's talk about like the 5G connectivity of the phone. It will boost the new modem that they installed. Is supposed to be an X70 modem that has better power consumption.
Right.
So it's going to be use less power for 5G,
Right.
and it's supposed to have a 24% increase in speed over the iPhone 14.
Well, and you know what? So I'm looking at the T-Mobile. I don't know if Cage, you can go to that article and show this graphic or not, but so with AT&T, your download is 204 megabits per second, and your versus that's the 15 Pro, and the 14 Pro is 178 down with the upload of 24 up and 22 down. But T-Mobile, so it sounds like to me T-Mobile's the way to go for your phone because the download for the Pro, the 15 will be 300.92 megabits per second.
That's crazy.
And then yeah, there it is. So, and then your upload is 27. To me, that's massive.
Yeah, that
That
is.
alone, to me, that alone, so here's the thing. I've been an AT&T customer for, let's see, ages. I've probably been an AT&T customer for 27 years. That's who we had in the beginning, and I've always stuck with them, even through the BlackBerry years and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But T-Mobile has really won over my heart, if you
Huh.
want to say.
They took the time and effort to beef up their infrastructure.
They have. So I'm literally probably I'm going to talk to everybody that's on our plan. I'm going to look. I'm moving everybody over to T-Mobile
Yeah.
and just move the whole family over there and get off AT&T.
Man, I'm sure you would have loved the plan that I have.
Really?
I have a
Are
T-Mobile.
you grandfathered in?
I am grandfathered in on a T-Mobile business plan, which was one of the original T-Mobile business plans,
Yeah.
which had 4 lines for $120 a month.
Oh my God.
But every additional line, you ready for this, John?
Yeah.
$20 a month.
What? Unlimited?
Now, what happened is
Now is
back,
that but
but wait,
but
back in
there's
the
more.
day, it was a 10 gig limit. Even
Ah.
then was good,
Yeah.
and it was still unlimited. It was just a 10 gig limit, but they got rid of the 10 gig limit and created unlimited. So now all my lines are unlimited. I have
Are
$20
they
a
truly
line.
unlimited, or are
Oh
they
yeah,
throttled
yeah.
after a certain?
I haven't. None of my lines have ever
See,
been throttled.
AT&T, they throttle me,
No, not
and we
I,
burn data.
and not only that. You ready for this, John?
I'm ready.
I'm probably rolling in around 4 to 5 lines free.
Oh,
Well, because they periodically will like say, add a line, get a line free.
Yeah.
So I had to add a line at one point,
Yeah.
and I got a line free.
right.
Then they had this other plan where they just recently they called me and said, because you've been such a good long term customer,
Right.
we are giving our long term customers a free line. Would you like it? I just have to pay the taxes. I'm like, okay,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
sure.
sure,
Why
just
not?
give me.
Okay.
So it's $20 savings. I
Okie
mean,
dokie.
they just sent me a SIM card and I just plug it into a phone and boom, I got a line.
Dang.
Yeah, so
That's pretty cool.
it's pretty cool, that I got got devices and everything like that. But again, by the time I'm done, my true phone bill, if I wasn't paying for devices, I'm probably around 2 something.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go because we have too many lines that AT&T is killing me, and I know, but I got to make sure everybody's good because here's the problem with switching carriers is we can port your numbers over.
Oh yeah.
It never goes as smooth as they say it's gonna go.
Oh yeah, that's the scary
Ever.
part. That's the scary part.
I mean, ever.
Yeah.
It's like they always screw something up.
Mhm.
So we'll have to see. So, but while we're on the iPhone, now, so I saw this story over the weekend,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I'm thinking to myself, this is all bullshit.
Yeah, it had, and I thought this story was because
Bullshit.
it had nothing to do. Apple hadn't responded yet,
No,
so this story was like, come on, this is getting kind of far reaching. Yeah.
So Apple's going to release software. So anybody that doesn't know what's going on, so the EU,
Mhm.
right,
In-
is
in France.
all worried.
France,
France is all worried about radiation from the phones.
correct.
So Apple's going to release software update for the iPhone 12 to solve radiation concerns. So here's
Because what was happening? What was
My-
happening?
my brain says to me,
Well, is it sure your brain?
all right, well, yeah. All right, what are you going to do? Send a new shroud for the
Right.
phone? Because the radiation doesn't come from the software.
No,
It comes from the electronics in the phone.
correct.
Now, so what are you going to tell the phone to do? Cut back half power?
They're gonna
Or-
probably turn down the Wi-Fi antenna and the cellular. They're gonna have to.
You're still holding that thing in your hand.
Yeah,
It's
true, true.
So here's the thing. Do you remember a long time ago where everybody was worried about the radiation of phones being put to your
yeah,
hand, right?
causing tumors.
So then they went to Bluetooth.
Right.
And so now you have something to stick in your ear.
Uh-huh.
And coming from the electronic side of it, the engineer side of it, right? The Bluetooth radiation, which there's radiation,
Yes.
is just as strong as the stupid phone radiation, right? And it's radiation of it's not at a proportion to where it will hurt you.
Correct.
So all these people that go, "Oh, I got a tumor from it." No, you already had the tumor. The radiation, the phone radiation probably made it just a little bit worse, but it didn't give you the tumor.
Right.
And if it did give you the tumor, that means that you're weak and your system is weak and you was already you're already
Susceptible.
susceptible to having it anyway.
Right.
Because, and then and it was just, oh my God, man, so much crap came out. Put this on the back of your phone, it
Yeah.
stops the radiation. No,
So what
it doesn't.
exactly. So what John's trying to say is there was an article that France had cut iPhone sales, iPhone 12 sales,
Yeah, couldn't sell it,
and
couldn't buy them.
told them to stop selling the iPhone 12 because the radiation output from the phone was above their legal limits,
Right.
safety limits. And so, everybody kind of takes things like this with a grain of salt and be like, "Oh yeah, whatever, come on now." They probably just have these weird California type rules just to bash people. And then all of a sudden there's another article that comes out later on the next day, and we see that Apple sent out a update patch just for the iPhone 12 to alleviate these concerns because they know that they're getting cut off from potential sales,
Right.
which they were able, using software, they're able to reduce the output of radiation from the device. So that most likely they underclocked it. They probably, changed the antenna rating for the phone's internals, and so it's pretty interesting to see that Apple responded to that very quickly, very
Well,
very quickly.
so here okay. So I'm pretty sure Apple probably thought of this. I hope
Yeah.
they did.
Well, they probably had an
Why
issue with the
don't
phone.
why don't you just tell everybody trade it in and give them a better buy-in on the new
Yeah,
phone?
yeah.
Who the hell's out buying a brand new 12?
It's not like you're not gonna trade it in and take it in for better credit because it's not like you're not disassembling it and recycling it.
Right.
I mean, that's all they've been doing, or just resell it in the United
Well,
States.
how about this? How about don't resell it at all? Who the hell's buying a brand new 12?
Yeah, poor countries that want an iPhone but just can't afford an iPhone, but they get
Make it
to older
portable in
iPhone.
those countries.
Yeah, they tried that. No, things didn't
I
work too
don't know.
well.
I just think that's dumb. When I saw like, oh, they set this new software, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, all right. So now you're gonna buy a phone that don't work worth shit. Sorry. I
Yeah,
mean, you can't have it both ways.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can't have a powerful tool in your hand and have it running at full power and let it work. Now you're gonna have a tool in your hand that's barely running, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna smart, maybe okay. So here's what they did: they upgraded it, right? And now all of a sudden it's like, oh well, that's a piece of crap.
They
Well, go
probably
buy a 13.
back in the day when Apple was being sued for underclocking their devices based on battery degradation.
Now
So
they
they got
did it
sued.
on purpose.
So now they have to do it on purpose because it's putting out too much radiation. They're probably like, okay, just let the little bitch run full power.
Yeah.
It's an iPhone 12. Nobody's going to be using it very much. They
So are they doing it to the 13, the 14, and the 15 now?
Well, no, because you can die with those. That's just fine.
Oh, so it's okay to die with the good ones, just don't die with the crappy ones.
Yeah. It's probably the material, either the
Dumb.
material they're using or the particular. I'm telling you, it's probably has something to do with the antennas themselves, the modems that drive the cellular signals or
Right.
Wi-Fi signals. They're just pushing. They probably had to overclock them at some point with new software updates and because of degraded signals and things like that. People might have complained about it at one point.
Yep.
And to fix the problem, they probably pushed an update that, or they just wrote it into the code and just it accidentally put those things in a full max, and you know, but you never know, So they probably it just takes somebody to. I wonder how much radiation this is putting out on my
Yeah.
iPhone 12.
Go
Oh,
stand
look.
next to your microwave and
You
see how
know,
much that puts out.
it was probably somebody in like a lab setting, and had a Geiger counter or something, next to it. And we're like, oh my god, this thing's putting out a lot of.
Yeah.
Look, I'm 20 feet away and it's still putting out. So
It doesn't make any sense to me.
no,
I'm
no.
saying But and here's something that came out from Kuo. Kuo said that the iPhone 15 Pro Max demand outpaces the iPhone Pro Max. It's
14.
already
Yeah, I don't
it's all
understand
people are already screaming for this phone.
why. I don't under. I is it? It can't be the USB C. Or I mean, that's not even really that big of a change, and we already knew why that changed. And you know what's funny? The UE, tells them, look, you got to change this port, or we're not going to let you sell the phones over here anymore. So, in response, Apple like, yes, the USB C, we changed it, and it's better. It's so much better.
It's
Look, it's more innovative in this. And
technically no. If you go on to tech specs, it's not.
well, you know what? It's not
No.
until the Pro Max.
Well,
That's funny how they underclocked it in the other devices, but they give you a true, USB-C connection in the higher end phone. I mean, come on, that just doesn't make any sense. They
nope,
just and I think
nope.
I think what they did is just continue to use the same chipset that's on the phone and just change the port.
Right.
That's all they did.
That's it.
So they use the same
And
chipset.
it's just a new piece of soldered in equipment.
Right, right. But there's a charge controller and there's a USB controller that's
Hmm.
behind it, and they just didn't change the controller. That's all they did. So they left the weaker components in the older phones.
That's what I was looking at. I'm trying to find out what kind of components they left.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and just because you have a USB-C, it can be whatever, the manufacturer wants it to be because that's just the connection.
yeah,
If you want to get the full features, there's a controller behind that, that controls the different signals.
correct.
And they can just change, as they wire it up they could wire it to a USB 2.0 controller and still get the same
Hmm.
2.0 and have a C. And you would think that you have something worthwhile, but you don't. You just have a change of connector. And that's what they did. They probably already had a majority of the logic boards created for the iPhone 15. And they're like, it's going to be too costly to now have to change the PCB versus just changing the physical port.
Right.
Change the port, solder on a different port. They already make a limited amount of the iPhone 15 Pro Maxes because those and the Pros because they're the higher end, so they limit the amount they make,
Hmm.
and then they put them out there. So those ones, they had time to put more development into.
Well, so the Pro Maxes, right? The Apple A17 Pro SoC, the single core is close to an Intel i9
Oh, I know
13.
that is
That
ridiculous.
to me is that's okay. So that between the camera and that processor makes it from that's why it's going to be an easy for me to say yeah I'm going to upgrade
Yeah, yeah.
because I can kick out some great video because that's
I
what
mean when you think about it now, this they're talking about it's 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 on benchmark. I mean, it's like 10% less, from the maximum of the i9,
yeah,
which is ridiculous.
yep,
But it cannot beat its multi-core feature.
well no,
No, so this is in a single thread matchup. Um, this thing can almost beat out an i9 13th gen and an AMD 7950X as for graphics.
right,
That's what they're saying, and that's pretty powerful.
and that's what's giving you the capability of 8K to
Yeah, yeah,
film in. Not that look anything past 2.5K,
and look,
it's not needed. I'm just saying, but it's nice to say I can film in 8K.
yeah, and it's awesome that it can do this in single thread mode, but just the reason why it can't beat out in multi-thread mode is because of heat.
Oh,
Yeah,
that thing would
think
turn into an oven.
yeah, just think about it.
I could cook on it.
There's no fans, there's no real
Mm-mm.
thermal features on the phone that can really keep it
Hence
cool.
the aluminum.
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 Yes,
That's
that's
the
why.
only reason they went to that aluminum because these phones will get hot,
Right, right, and that's why they
hot.
only encase the outer portion
Yep,
in the titanium. And
yep.
if you noticed when they said that, they just kind of like melted the aluminum and the titanium
Mhm,
and fused it together under high heat and
mhm.
pressure, and it's fused it together. But I'm also reading that the 15 made repairability better on the phones. Now, that's
Really?
something we didn't speak about, but
Ah, no, I didn't think
no,
about
so
that part.
the thing is now that Apple's opened up the ability to purchase products from Apple on the consumer end. So
Right.
if you want to fix your phone yourself and
Yeah,
use genuine Apple parts,
you can buy them.
you can buy them.
Really?
Yes.
I thought that was strictly an Apple dealer guy.
It was, but now they've opened it up. So if you want to buy an iPhone screen
Right.
or change your own iPhone battery, Apple now has it. So you can buy, if you are tech savvy enough and you feel confident, they will give you and sell you the screens and things needed to change
Yeah, I'm
your.
not ever taking something that small
Well,
apart.
it's nice because in the 15, the 14, you basically the screen, the back glass was like glued on really bad.
Yeah.
And in the 15, I'm hearing that the glass is repairable and removable, as like in the glass is like a sheet of aluminum behind it, where it would just lay down, snap in place, and
Huh.
then the couple screws could hold the.
Oh, I'll be dang.
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of interesting. That if that's the case, that it's going to make it easier for people to be able to fix their own devices,
Right.
and it all goes back to the repairability um, acts that have been enacted, where people are, suppose
I
when you
want to be
buy a
able to fix
device,
it.
you,
I want
you
to be
want
able
to
to
fix
fix
it.
it myself.
Well, it's funny is like over in the UE and all that, they're telling people, manufacturers, that if you build a device that has a battery in it, you better make it so that the battery can be changed when it needs to be, because this whole, throw out your device and buy another one thing is
Yeah.
getting old. And especially when Apple just stated, we were able to use 100% recycled graphite in the batteries. Well, if you keep throwing out the stuff, you can't do that.
Right.
You know,
True.
you lose out on the ability to be able to carbon neutral and recycle.
Yep.
And come on, back in the day, John, there was always a battery casing or an
Yep.
ability to get to a battery
Yep.
fairly easy,
Oh
even if
yeah.
it was a few screws.
Yeah.
But today, I mean,
You
most
got to
devices.
unglue. You got to heat it up.
Yeah,
It's got to come
yeah,
across, and then you never get that back to looking like it was coming. Well, you guys can, but the
yeah.
self home doer,
600 ribbon cables going over the battery.
mm-mm.
You disconnect one thing, half the machine's completely
Should I
dead.
have a camera that I got to find someone that can go in there and is willing to get in there and solder and these little bitty tiny baby ribbon camera things, because I was a dumbass and tried to take it apart and the ribbons came out and they're all unsoldered. And I'm like, well,
Yep.
crap, I ain't
Hmm.
touching that because I shake like an old man. See, look, oh, see? That's me being steady. Until I have a gun in it, then it's this.
Ah,
Just saying. Um,
ah.
but yeah, so I never thought about you guys. I don't know if that's something you kind of really want to tackle, but oh,
Tackling.
oh well. So we're gonna finally leave the Apple world,
We're gonna leave the Apple world.
right? So a massive MGM and Caesar hacks um, epitomizes vicious ransomware cycle. Now, I would say, right, in my again, this is John's brain, that the most secure the most secure servers ever in the world would not be the governments,
Yeah.
but would be the casinos.
Right.
I mean, because I don't know if you've their security is like top notch.
Oh yeah.
I mean, better than some of the government security, right? I
Mhm.
mean, their back end systems are like some of the most sophisticated in the world, but yet MGM and Caesars both get hacked.
Well, John, this is where it boils down to the fact that social engineering. They used LinkedIn
Oh my god!
to trace down and communicate with IT. And
Really?
yeah, so they use LinkedIn, talk, try to look at, you know, who's the head of this department, who's the head of that department. Because what do we always do? We always list what we do on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's basically a giant resume of everything that you do. So you go in, you look up a company, and then after you look up the company, you see who all works there. You go down the list and you find out who the higher ups, who makes some of the decisions, who's the IT staff.
Right.
Oh, hey, so and so associate, I need to get let in.
Yep.
I'm John from IT.
Right.
And exactly
That's how they did
this
it.
is how they did it.
Oh
So
my
you just
Lord.
let in somebody who's nefarious. This is where proper training comes into play.
Right.
And it's not just a specific like somebody receiving an email. These guys are getting good. They'll pick up the phone, they'll get the extensions. They'll know the internal phone systems. All they gotta do is pick up the phone and convince an unwary person, hey, look, I'm who I say I am. And it happens way too much. Way too much. And it's ridiculous that, people don't say, "Hey, you know what? Hold on a sec. Let me give you a call back, John, and find out if you really did call."
Right.
Or just, "Are you sure? Oh, hold on a sec."
Right.
Yeah,
God.
Mhm.
So you're never. It's amazing. You're just not safe
No, no,
anywhere.
and that's how they got. You could be as safe as you want especially even in your company, but your downfall is going to be your employees.
Yep.
It's going to be your employees. I recently had a
Hence
situation.
AI. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding. Yep.
I recently had a situation where somebody had a fake malware popping up on their computer. Rant, rant, rant. You're not safe. Don't turn off your computer. I had a phone number to call, and one of the employees, you know, neglected to say the full thing, but said they picked up the phone and called. And when I was out on site taking care of the situation, I'm looking at the computer and I noticed that there's remote software installed. And I asked a question: do you guys use remote software to enter these computers? No. So I look at the time and date and when it was installed, and it was installed on the same day that
Oh.
this happened. And I'm like,
Oh.
did you call the number and let somebody? Oh yeah, yeah, that I did call the number. I said, and did they get in your computer? Yeah, only for a minute. Only for a minute. Well, that's all it takes. And because they have
God.
remote software installed, when you left, even if you hung up the phone, you did not disconnect the internet connection from the person. So now they're in there rooting around in your company data, looking at your files, trying to see if it's worth,
Mm.
worth stealing anything, or, and they could put keyloggers in, all sorts of stuff. So
Yep.
it's very disheartening, that just because you see something come up on your screen and a phone number comes up, how people are so easy to just call the number, and even assume that who they're speaking to on the other end
Right.
is Microsoft or anything like that. I don't know how many times we've been taught that the internet is fake.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Internet is fake.
We're not really sitting here. Just saying.
Yeah, right?
I don't know if you know that or not, but we're all AI. You know. So speaking of ransomware, right? BlackCat ransomware hits Azure Storage. Azure Storage, their cloud storage is massive, and a lot of people use them.
Wow.
A lot of people use them more than they know they're using them.
Mhm.
All these people that are selling you cloud storage and all that kind of stuff, Azure is where technically that's where they're
Yeah,
sitting,
yeah.
and it's called the Sphinx. The Sphynx encryptor. I cannot talk today to save my butt. But now it's and this is the same people that are got that's it's they got into Microsoft. So that should tell you by huge amounts and then this happened um back in November of 21, and then it happened again just recently. So Microsoft and all those kind of people need to be sending you, oh, hey, by the way, we're going to take care of all your credit card monitoring. I mean, there was another company that just got hit. I think it was Hard Rock.
Wow.
And so Hard Rock is now going, oh, we'll pay for your monitoring.
It's
Got social security numbers
Mhm.
and customers. How would they have customers' social security number?
Yeah, I know.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
That a casino has your social.
Well, it could be that either they have these you know programs where they people who win a lot, and they have these gambling programs where they have these you know different uh like reward programs.
Right?
So they probably have to give you a 1099 or something like that, and so they have to keep those
Oh,
on
I didn't
file.
think of that. Yeah,
Yeah,
after you win so much, it has to
yes,
be reported to the
right, yeah. Right.
IRS.
So you're probably probably winning so much money, and you're rolling in cash that
Right.
you realized you only had $50 to begin with, and they've been lending you everything. So yeah, so but it's funny because they showed that possibly encrypting the Azure cloud storage. The problem with something like that is that you'll have companies like managed service providers that offer data backup services. Okay, and these data backup services will be like an app, and you get
Yep.
to choose where you want to store the data,
Right.
not by the company that creates this app, but you have the app. The app does the syncing and does all these cool features. Then you have, where do you want to store it?
Right.
A lot of my managed service providers offer the Azure cloud storage. Well, and a certain per gig data storage price. Well, if they send it there and it's been encrypted by this company,
Right.
all they have to do is wait till the data store is encrypted, and then these hackers, once they get into the main computer system of the company, they say, "Boom, we're going to encrypt your data. Pay us now." Well, the managed service provider's like, "Don't pay it. We have backups." And they go to the cloud and they go to pull their backup and find that the backup's encrypted. So the backup of the backup is
Screwed.
wrapped up.
You're screwed.
You're screwed. So
Either way, you're screwed.
so so when it all said and done, when it comes down to at the end of the day, if you can do an on-site backup of your stuff, disconnect it totally from the system and put it somewhere at least every 6 months, 1 year. You know, how many years have you been in business? Can you still operate your business if you lost 6 months
Right.
of data, or a year?
Hmm.
Or would you lose everything if you lost everything? You know what I mean? It's sometimes, people don't realize how long they've been in business, and how big their customer data is.
Right.
And their whole business is relying on their customer data.
Yep.
You know, do I lose 6 months or a year, or do I lose a lifetime? And how hard would it be to rebuild your business in this
That's the big
case?
thing is, if you've got, like with us, we're other than 8, 9 shows, I don't have returning clients, and it's not that they don't like what I did, but they've used this one time, and that was kind of all they needed.
Right.
So, we it's one-offs, but, if I lost my database tomorrow, I could start all over again.
Right.
I'd be okay.
But your content,
Content would suck.
right? Because that's your field. Your field is the content.
Content.
Even
But
if
we don't cloud store that at all. That's
right.
sitting on and I do that on purpose. I set that on. I've got more hard drives than any one man should ever have. Um, and I mean, I got hundreds, and they're all put away in a
Mhm.
cool storage, so
Right.
that way they don't dry. And it's not a dry. It's climate controlled,
Mhm.
so that way I don't have to worry about. I can go back 11 years and pull a hard drive and go, oh, this is what was I've done.
Better than pulling a tape.
Done that. I have done that, and that sucks. Um, so I don't know if you put this in or I put this, but the GB GP G
I had to. I had to. I just
a GeForce RTX 47 for less than $600.
look. Not too long ago, and I will say that this happens still today.
Right.
I have a lot of people come in, and they just don't want to build a gaming computer because they were afraid of the prices that were
Oh,
happening in
that would they were
GPO world.
crazy.
They the 30 series coming out, 30, 50, 30, 60
Mhm.
was $1,500 for the GPU. Just for the GPU.
Yep.
the 40s started coming out, those were well over, you know, the $1,000 mark. But look how quickly there hasn't even been the 40 series haven't been out that long.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And they're already slashing prices because of AMD coming out with their 7800 XT. And now you have a third player. You have Intel making their own graphics cards.
Right.
So there's a little bit of competition happening, but come on, 1,500
So
to five.
do you think the American consumer is gonna remember how they got screwed by these companies?
It's
Or do you think it's like, whatever, it just
they do
happens?
know they do know. The problem is they're the only companies,
Yeah, I know.
so it's kind of tough. What really happens is the second hand market really gets pummeled
Yep.
because what happens is you get these when the cryptocurrency really kind of started
Mhm.
tanking and stuff like that, and these guys that were doing these server farms to mine coins, the market flooded with all these 30 series graphics cards, 20s, 30s, coming into the market because that's how they mined. And the market was really flush with them and they were discounted because, hey, cards are running 1500, but I can sell you one for 8,
Right,
you know. Well, I can buy a 40 series now for 5 something.
right,
And you'll never get the 8. You're gonna lucky if you can get a walk away with $150 to $200 for that
right, for
graphics card.
used.
Right.
Right.
So that market, you're gonna see a ton of that stuff out there. A ton of, and I wouldn't buy it because it's just, they really use and abuse those graphics cards. They're running max.
Well, they're
Um,
running 100 actually, they're overclocked
yeah, they're
most of the time.
overclocked and then they're running 100%, full
7 days a
power,
week,
7 days a week.
2 years, year,
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
Nope, they're nothing but a burnout.
Yeah, they'll probably burn out within the next, 90 days or something,
But
you start
but
getting
my point
fragmentation.
yes, the crypto happened, and the next thing you know COVID.
Yeah, crypto happened and that's why these companies got greedy.
They did, and that's why my brain says to me, it's like right now, even for 550, I'm like, nah, you guys screwed us about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Why would I go? No, I'll limp through until it needs it. What happened? What needs to absolve us nerds and geeks need to stop buying for 6 months. Just stop
Yeah.
buying
Yeah.
and go. How's it feel?
Mhm. Well, that has happened because a
Don't
lot of
buy it unless you absolutely 100% gotta. You're down. You have to have it.
there's a lot of people out there that are still running like graphics cards, the 20 series, 16 series, 20 series
Hmm.
graphics cards because they are still under the assumption that they're going to get raped by
Yeah.
these graphics card
Right.
prices. And when I tell them, no, graphics cards come down a lot, they're like, what?
Yeah.
And then when you tell them that you can get a graphics card, because look, he's like, I have a customer came in, need a graphics card. Oh, look, I'm not going to be dumping another $1,000 on this machine.
No.
I'm probably going to look into getting another machine. And when I
Right.
tell them, well, graphics cards are not $1,000 anymore, their jaw drops. I'm like, no, man, the graphics card prices have come down, and they're like, since when? When did this happen? And it's kind of interesting because it's like these manufacturers, like when you go to NVIDIA's direct website, some of
Right.
the pricing is really not changed, but it's these one-off builders, um, like Zotac and all them, those guys, they're bringing the prices down because they know they can't sell the cards, you know. And I forgot which company it was that recently pulled away from NVIDIA and stopped creating their cards. And they were a good company that used to make graphics using NVIDIA's chipsets.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and they pulled away just to make gaming keyboards and mice and stuff. But they were a good company, in the day, and they had nice warranties. But it
I
really
think we
stinks.
have actually. We have their keyboard back in the back.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it to me, it's just I think America needs to go. You know what? You screwed us.
yeah, yeah.
So how about doing something to unscrew us, and then we'll get your trust back. Right now, I don't trust any of them right now.
No, they should offer a buyback program.
You betcha.
Yep, they should
You
just
bet. You
say,
made so much money on us.
right.
It's time to either or just discount the crap out of them.
Well, you know what? I mean, buyback program. You give me $100 trade-in credit for a graphics card and knock the price down a brand new one by $100 and use that and recycle and do whatever you're gonna do with it.
Hmm.
Then so be it. Kind of like our bad type situation. We didn't mean to, you know, spike the prices just because a whole bunch of people bought them. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So they're trying to put chips in our brains now,
Yay!
making AI smarter with artificial multisensory integration neuron. So now they're making AI, they're giving the AIs the way to feel.
Great.
Nope. I'm sorry. I'm
Come
not,
on, John. That's okay.
nope. It's like the
I
people
can't
now
do
that
that,
get so
John.
excited. They put their hand over a palm reader
Yeah.
and and that's how you pay. Now, do you know who started all this for the public consumer? Disney. Oh yeah,
Oh, when they started doing the
yep,
yeah.
Disney. Because it's okay. It's Disney.
Yes.
It's Disney. Nope, I'm good.
Whole new
It's a whole
world.
new world, all right. Nope, nope, nope. You had your little watch or your little band. You could walk into Disney, put the band in there,
Hmm.
in your hands,
Hmm.
your palm
Iris
print.
scans.
Nope,
Eh,
Universal Studios with your
You know what
thumbprints.
you, you know what your iris scan is? It's Mickey Mouse looking back at you.
Yeah, going, "Oh, look inside the brain.
Look
Hello there, little
inside
boy. Want to
my eyes.
go for a ride on my teacup?"
Oh,
Mm-mm. Nope,
hey,
I don't.
turtle. Mm.
I don't. But anyway, yeah. AI. They're making these. They're making these sensors, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually they want to put these into you to
No.
help you learn.
Wait. What are we going to learn by giving sensor powers to the AI?
I mean, so if someone gets damaged, I can see, like, if you get in a car wreck and you didn't lose your arm, but you lose sensation or touch or feel.
Right.
I get that. Trying to make it work. Or you're doing it where someone has a prosthetic and they put the sensor in there and it makes the prosthetic work even better.
I can
Other than
understand.
just doing this. I get it.
It
Okay.
would it would you would lose the it would be more natural while it processes signals a
Correct.
lot easier. Yeah.
But that would be the only way in my brain. That's the only way that's
It could,
even
it could pull the prosthetic arm away
right.
before you started smelling the plastic burning.
Kinda. I guess
Except
so.
for if it pulls it away in a way that you don't realize it, it punches you in the face. Douche.
Hey,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Um, and speaking of sensory, right? So now this is okay. So this thing it's called Slash Gear. Is where we got this one from. I got it from it.
Yeah.
It says, "What is LiDAR? Light detection and ranging system." So the LiDAR has become better,
It has and
right?
smaller.
And small, right?
Yeah.
Because we have it in our phones. That little chip right down here is
Hmm.
right here
Yeah.
is light. No, right here. Right there is LiDAR.
LiDAR.
Right. Now, I have tried my best to use LiDAR on my phone. I never can get it to work the way that they show all these gurus on, like,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna go somewhere really different, like exploration. I mean, no, I'm sorry, Expedition X,
Mhm.
which is it's a spin off of the Josh Gates exploration, um, Bigfoot or whatever like that. And this guy, this one guy pulls out this iPad and he does his LiDAR scan. And it's an iPad
Yeah.
and it comes out immaculate. Um, I've got the same. I knew what app he brought up. I used the app, whole 9 yards. I cannot get it to look that good ever. And I know,
John, you just didn't look at her.
oh, I'm telling you, dude. I literally did exactly what he did. And then actually, what's even funnier is I did it on a well made print. I just put my hand in the thing and it comes up all gooey. They did it on this freaking footprint that was in the mud and had sticks and everything else in there. And when that thing was done, I mean, it was like pristine imprint, right?
Yeah.
I mean, perfect 3D modeling. I'm like, no, 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 no. So, but on self-driving cars, it's a big deal to have
Yeah,
your
it is.
LiDAR because that's literally how it drives.
It's funny. this is and this was a subject between the engineers at Tesla
Hmm.
with Musk. This was a big situation when the first generation of cars came out. They had lidar.
Hmm.
Okay, they used lidar,
Yep.
and Elon's determined to go with just regular cameras.
Right.
I know it has to do with cost. Okay. It has to do with cost.
Yep.
But he says, well, the way we see our software should be able to see. The problem is yes, the software can track and do what it needs to do.
Hmm.
Problem with cameras, and John will tell you,
Hmm.
is they're sensitive to light.
Oh, big time.
Big time. So when you have a car coming at you and it whitewashes that camera and you can't, you lose visibility, okay? Or you're driving down the road and the sunlight reflects off somebody's chrome bumper and shines back. I mean, we've all had that happen.
Hmm.
You had a truck following behind you and it's beaming light into your eye from the rearview mirror and it's broad daylight because it's, light's reflecting.
Hmm.
And, you can't just move the camera out of the way and still be able to get the full view of the road and what's happening.
Right.
So LiDAR throws out, uh, an infrared scan of everything and puts little dots on everything, and it can true depth,
The
fields of depth and
the
everything.
biggest problem that they're having is the fact that these sensors, whether they're camera or lidar, have to interpolate 2D into 3D, and they
Right.
have to do it quickly, which they're still not there. That's the
Right.
problem, right? So if you're doing 65, 70 miles an hour
Mhm.
and your lidar can't keep up with, that 3D interpretation where it's a truck or whatever in front, that is the problem.
Right.
We just don't have fast enough processors yet. I mean, they're working on it. MIT's working on it.
Yeah.
So that's why the camera is in a way, a better interpretation right now because it kind of senses it can do distance and stuff like that because it's easier for your camera to go, oh, it's faster for the computer to go, oh, from here to there is 20 feet. Here to there is 15 feet,
Mhm.
right? When LiDAR has to go take the image, bring it back in, interpret it so it can be a 3D image. And by the time that happens, you're in the back of that truck.
Right.
So, you know, but
Very interesting.
it is. And it's going to get there. I mean, my my robo cleaner, the little what do you call those Roombas, right?
Mhm.
They have lidar in them.
Zumba.
Those are lidar, right?
Yeah.
Not cameras, right? So, I mean, and it's amazing how, what it actually gets used, what uses LiDAR and what doesn't use LiDAR. And
Exactly.
eventually they're going to get it where it's pretty quick. But, and I know they are, I know they're working on solid state LiDAR,
Mhm.
which I think may actually help solve the problems. But because it can do 360 degree,
Right.
which is but the problem is lidar. The one of the biggest problems is sensory issues
Mhm.
because little things can mess it up. Um, s- okay, just for instance, last weekend or last Monday, a road paint truck, screwed up and left a line of yellow paint behind it
Ah,
in Tampa. Right, so didn't know. And when it was painting the road, well, the problem is it crossed over line.
right.
So the cars that are self-driving were running into other cars because it was like, oh, yellow line, I got to get over. Yellow line, I got to get over because yellow lines are typically for outside lanes, not inside,
Right,
right?
right.
So yellow line, oh, I got to get over. Well, the problem this thing is crossed over and it was pushing people into traffic, and people were fighting it, and the car said, nope, nope, you got
Mm.
to do what I say.
The lane assist.
So that lidar was seeing the yellow
Yeah.
and it was pushing. So it tries to think for you, which is awesome. I get it, right? It's thinking for you, but
It's not thinking.
It's not thinking for you.
Right.
It's just going, oh, I'm stupid. This is what I've got to do. Oh my gosh.
It only knows what's programmed into it. Number one, and number two, you still have the problem with human error,
Right.
and that's and the thing is they can't self correct. They only know this, and this is what it means. They can't make a judgment call based on, does that look like it's supposed to be there or no? You know, that's that's where we're not at yet.
Right.
And that's gonna
And it's
take a
going to try to
long.
get there, but give it
I think
time.
it's gonna take a
I
long time
think
for it.
I don't. I know all the futuristic movies that we watch and like what was it? Demolition Man,
Yeah.
where he gets in the car and it just drives, and then you get the movie I Robot with Will Smith, where the cars drive, and then you go, oh no, I want to drive. It's crazy. So it is what it is. So anyway, I was gonna jump on one more, but I don't think we're gonna have time because it was from it showed that people working from home is actually the numbers are better than everybody thinks they are.
Mm,
So it's not like it's actually trending better.
wow.
So and I know a lot of people want people back into offices and stuff like that, but I mean,
Some just the right employees can be more productive at home.
yes, right. They take less vacation,
Yeah.
less time off.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, they can get home
so
stuff done.
that tells me, were they busy enough at work to be busy? Or was it just busy looking busy so they didn't get more stuff piled on top of them,
True.
right?
Right.
So,
And if the boss would just, if the boss doesn't look and say, "Hey, look, what are you doing right now?" They just did nothing.
playing Galaga.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So,
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense.
I wish I could work from home, but unfortunately, what we do for a living in here,
Yeah.
we can't.
Well, the problem is we work our living.
That's true.
Yeah. So
That is true. So anyway, well, so we got about 38 seconds. Hey, appreciate everybody watching. It's been a good show. If you've got any questions, email us because we'll be glad to answer some questions. Or if you've got a topic that you want us to cover, we still got to do the home security thing
yeah,
before we
yeah.
shut down for November. And because I've had several people go, when are you going to do that show? When are you going to do that
And
show?
Monday, next Monday, I am going to be
Oh, don't even tell me you're on a cruise.
I'm going to be in the Turks and Caicos.
Oh, you're killing me. So we
That's
won't be here next Monday. But anyway, we'll see everybody 2 Mondays from now. We'll be back. Bye. Have a
Bye.
techie week.